All right, it's 6 p.m. and I call this meeting of the Lenox School Committee to order. Please be reminded that CTSB TV is broadcasting this evening's meeting. This is the annual school committee organizational meeting, which is why I am temporarily serving as its chairperson until a chairperson is elected. There are two parts to this process: nominations and elections. A word about nominations: they do not require being seconded, and members may nominate themselves. Nominations are now in order for the office of school committee chair.
I would like to nominate Orrin Gass for chair.
Right.
I would like to nominate Rod Fenton.
Right. Any further nominations? All right. Hearing none, nominations are now closed. The chairperson would be elected by a majority roll call vote of the members present and voting. Members' names will be called in alphabetical order. Signify your vote for chair when I call your name.
Do we have a chance for discussion, or is this just non-debatable?
I think discussion is appropriate. People want to.
Okay. We certainly can.
Yeah, so I think I'd just like to raise the point that, knowing Orrin very well, I've gotten to know him very well over the past year, had the pleasure of serving with him on the subcommittee, which he chairs. I find Orrin to be just dedicated, intelligent, extremely knowledgeable. However, I do have the issue with the idea of having an appointee be put as the head of the committee just from a parliamentarian procedure. Again, I can't say enough about Orrin. I think he would be a phenomenal chairperson, but I just wanted to raise that up for any debate or question if anybody else should have any.
So, I think it's a good point. I'm glad you raised it. I don't look at Orrin as an appointee. Yes, I know Pete was. So I looked at him as a 3-year school committee member who, as you said, is dedicated and committed to the role, available to the role. I've also served on the committee, so while I hear your point, I guess I'm still having a hard time understanding that he's an appointee. But that's just, and I know he is, because I was there. No, I get it.
Unanimously appointed also.
Correct. Correct.
If I could just take a minute, I would like to just say, this past year was my first year as being chair after being vice chair. And then prior to that, having experience in the vice chair role before. I know that in many ways, with a new superintendent, new chair, we faced a lot of different ideas as far as how we're going to move forward, how we're going to organize. My goal in chairmanship was to be very open and transparent. I think having Megan as vice chair coming when she could and invited to every meeting where we organize the agenda helped to give another side to our agenda setting. I know that there have been some concerns and some, I'll say feedback, because I think complaint isn't a fair word, feedback around wanting to see meetings go a little bit differently. I do think that in the end, our workshop style of some gave us an opportunity for some more interactive conversation, for learning a little bit more about each other. I hope that whatever happens relative to organizing meetings in the future, that we find a way to have a few more of those, as well as digging in deeply when we get to the evaluation process. I think we all agree that we've had a good year of creating great leadership, and now that it's the next steps. I would really appreciate the opportunity to be chair for another year, and I appreciate the nomination. I think an opportunity, for example, for Orrin to be vice chair, for example, while we get through the year, he does have to run for re-election in May, that could be a really good opportunity for some collaboration. I do appreciate that Orrin and I have had a lot of collaborative conversations, including disagreeing and finding a way to come to an understanding of one another. And I feel like each of us have had an opportunity to do that. So my hope is that you will want to see me as chair or vice chair. And if that's not the will of the board, of course, we continue to work together. And I really appreciate the collaborative nature. I think we have an exceptional school committee that works hard to support our district and to find a way through our differences. And I think that's really good.
So I want to raise 2 points, if I may. The first being, I think any board, any committee benefits from switching their leadership every now and then. I think we all bring different strengths. We all have, areas that we're particularly good at. In Oren, I see somebody who has the organizational skills, the time to commit. I really was impressed with the superintendent search, which I swore up and down would not be done in the time frame that it was done in, and you ran a very seamless committee there. That being said, this is not me, demanding change. I just think any committee and any board benefits from giving other people the opportunity to show their leadership skills.
I also agree with that. And I don't know if it's closed and another nomination can't be raised, but I would even, love to see, Megan as a nominee if she's willing to accept that nomination.
We can reopen the nomination if you want to make that nomination.
I just have to be in full transparency, my job requires a significant amount of travel. I think it would be disingenuous of me and not in the best interest of the committee if I were to accept a position of chair at this time. But I really appreciate that, Leader. Thank you.
Fair enough.
Right?
Well, I just wanted to say two things. That is, one, just in a sense, I'm just echo what you supporting, but I things that about. But since the fan is still, can I have you all project to move? This is just handed that I keep I was. I've got a lot of like bullet first, just with respect to Mike's point, I actually thought a lot about also whether it would make any sense for Rita serving a little chair, given that I was going to here what I'm is that at the end of the day, the chair is to sort of serve the committee. And so I think in my mind, if the committee, something I can provide that service effectively, then I'm inclined to do it. And to that, I just to sort of pick up on Ronnie's point, I think there have obviously been over the past year lots of discussions about how we want to see things organized and different views on that. And that's why I guess we have this discussion now. So certainly, as Ronnie said, whichever approach folks feel is we're going with this year, I certainly am comfortable with, and be a little closer to Ronnie either way.
Further discussion? Okay. The chairperson will be elected by a majority roll call vote. The members present and voting. Members' names will be called in alphabetical order. Signify your vote for chair when I call your name. Mr. Katz.
Yes, I can be the ghost one. I'm listening to Oregon Cats.
Hey. Mr. DuPont.
Let's choose to abstain.
Ms. Fenton.
I will vote for Veronica Fenton.
Ms. Graham.
What's abstaining
It means that you're not casting a vote.
at all?
Neither yay or nay. No vote.
Can that be done with
I don't know if it can be done with a roll call though.
vote?
Ken?
Ready? Hello? Or Cass.
Ms. Kirby.
Orin Cass.
Mr. Remy.
Oregon Cats.
Ms. Swinger. So, what do we have? 1, 2, 3.
There's 4 regardless. It doesn't matter.
All right. The majority of votes go to Orin Katz. Do you accept the office of chairperson?
Yes, I do.
I turn the chair over to you. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Obviously, we will do our best to make this the most productive year we can. But after conflicts, but that if you any time about whatever we could do much to sending the series would have. I guess I have to do the comparable thing for vice chair, which would be to open nominations for the role. Would you accept a vice chair nomination?
I would.
Then I would nominate Veronica for vice chair.
I'm gonna nominate Megan Kirby for vice chair. Once you're and chair, we know how to.
No, yeah, recommend.
No, we don't.
All right, so then if there's no other discussion, I guess we have a roll call vote. Starting at Zine, that's a vote for Veronica Fenton. That's T. I don't remember alphabetical.
Mike. Mike.
Yep, Veronica Fenton.
Veronica Fenton. For Veronica Fenton. Thank you.
Tim G.
Oh, what?
Who you're voting for?
Oh, Megan Kirby.
That's you.
Curry.
Gosh, Megan Kirby, sure. I'll give it another whirl.
Kate Grimlin.
Megan Kirsch.
Russia. Veronica Fenton. All right. That is for Veronica. So then for secretary, someone would accept a thing for accepting nomination.
Would you be willing to serve as secretary again? Mike?
I'd also be willing to share the roles and responsibility with anybody else who chooses to. But if
Oh, I will nominate you if you will accept it, and then we'll see how the rest plays out.
I accept.
Great. Any discussion for the nomination? All right. Roll call vote or a cast Mike DuPont.
Mike DuPont.
Veronica Fenton, Mike DuPont.
Megan Kirby, Mike DuPont.
Mike DuPont.
Mike DuPont. Kate Grimlin.
Mike Spell. Forward.
Thank you very much.
We need exterior visitors. Are there any visitors of a comment? Seeing none. Correspondence. I wrote as a little sheep and else. Kudos, I think. Then that brings us to the board report. We have two sets of meeting minutes to approve. The first is for June 10th, which was the full committee meeting.
I move to approve the school committee meeting of June 10th.
I'll second that.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
I
And Amy, I have to abstain from that. Oops, there for that. And then June 12th, which was the joint meeting with the select board.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the June 12th joint meeting with the select board.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I
That's
I once said that.
and that brings us to the superintendent evaluation, which I will hand it back over to Ryan.
Okay, well, thank you. Mr. Chair, I was actually going to ask for leave to do this, as this was part of process of the chair. And thank you all, by the way. I know that the timeline and what was sort of happening in the course of June was a little bit surprising and confusing, and everybody kind of worked together to get information out and get information back to me. I apologize in a way because I really didn't finish the tabulation until about yesterday afternoon, and Megan and I didn't have a chance to talk a lot, but what I chose to do actually is to just pretty much, without attribution to individuals, give the information that was given by everybody, which, again, I thank you for your detail and your hard work in getting information about this. Evaluations are really important in kind of closing out this year and then moving forward to thinking about what we'll be doing next year. We have on the agenda schedule, which Mr. Chair will plan the goal planning meeting in July. So it would be great to kind of close this up and think about what's next. So what I did, and the document is here for everybody to look at, I did basically a summative cumulative evaluation where everything was tallied, and then I took everybody's comments and to the best of my ability, unless there was any specific discussion, it's here for everybody to see without individual attribution, because that's the part that remains confidential. And I gave myself some bullet points so that I won't read the whole thing because nobody really needs me to do that. And I would say that overall the feedback was very positive. Some of just the examples of statements are incredibly pleased, extraordinary job with community engagement, extremely engaging, knowledgeable, collaborator, communicator, and just keep embarrassing you a little bit, great connections with administration, staff, and community, vision for our district, which we know we really wanted, excellent first year, role model in effective communication, leading by example, strategic thinking, thoughtful leader, inclusive, remains open and flexible to solutions, a good listener, welcoming environment, positive interactions, and praise and encouragement. So those were a lot of the words. I kind of did a little bit of highlighting, didn't quite do a wordle. That could have been pretty though if I did that, a nice little wordle. Maybe we'll do that. And then some feedback, which I think is really important as we move forward. And again, I think there was some shared ideas about this was year one. We need to kind of set the foundation, create the leadership, get you to, as we say, figure out the waters that you're swimming in using our sailing analogies. And that people are really looking for us to use data and information, which you've created a resource for that with support of the committee to help the school committee have robust discussions with some real strategic plans and initiatives. I think everybody's talking about really it's time to dig in deep, and I don't think you would disagree with that. Set ambitious goals for improvement, educational programs that meet the needs of all learners, strengthen curriculum and offerings for non-college bound students, super important. Explore ways to increase recruitment interest so that we can have the staff that we need. That's a challenge across the district, but we got to get creative if we want to get the right people. When we look at the top section where there's the professional practice, 3 met, 3 exceeded. I will say, in reviewing a lot of the materials about how to do this, exceeded and exemplary are considered to be the fewer comments, and you actually received quite a few exceeded and exemplary. And I think even though we all, I think, are reflective and thinking, what didn't make people happy, there was really a lot of that. And so I think that should bode well for you moving forward in the next round of setting goals. The overall summative performance was 3 for proficient, 2 for exemplary. Some people, the tool's a little wonky, so there are some places where maybe I couldn't see the checkbox or it didn't show up. And so that's not really anyone's fault, but sometimes you won't see 7 numbers, you'll see 6 or 5. Impact on student learning, 5 for high impact on student learning, and 1 moderate. So I think that's really good because that's really what this is all about, is student learning. I just pulled out a few of professional practice. 3 suggested exceeded, others were met. Safety and security, 2 exceeded, 4 met. Equity and belonging, 3 exceeded, 2 met. I think that, just looking at those very high. Communication, 6 people felt you exceeded the goals of communication, which again, I think is something we just very clearly said that was something this district needs, is to have open and transparent communication, and you've got a lot of high feedback on that. Reestablishing normalcy, feeling like we've been adrift a bit, so 5 felt you exceeded that. Family and community, 3 proficient, 3 exemplary. Professional culture, 4 proficient, 2 exemplary, and communication, exemplary. So I think hopefully that gives you the documents more detailed and will be available, to the public, and you've had a chance to look at it and we can talk about it. And if anybody has any questions or thoughts, we can either discuss or you can reach out to me separately too. But thank you all for the process, and then we'll set about the next round of setting the next set of goals.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job, well done.
Thank you. done.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you.
We came in. She saw me. She saw me. She done it. And that's it.
Thank you.
Very well.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Turn it back to you, Mr. Jerry. Thank you.
Anything?
What's that?
Do we need to formally approve or accept this, or is it just?
I don't believe so. I think that by having submitted it, and then the cumulative nature, and as I said, it really is a reflection of what everybody did. So I didn't use license to really change anything. So, yeah, I think we just accept it and it's available.
It's terrific. Well, then over to you for highlights and recognition.
Okay, since your meeting on the 10th, we had the fifth grade move-up ceremony, which was done in wonderful Morris style. The gym was packed, and Chris Ketchen and Representative Smitty were recognized with plaques. That was a surprise to both of them, and they were both very, very touched by that. Representative Piglitelli came and saw me afterwards just to tell me how touched he was. Then there was the 8th grade move-up ceremony and the middle school musical hum, which were, again, all delightful ways to close out the year. Staffing updates, we have a new sped teacher for Morris, Ben Tobin, and we're going to have 2 new kindergarten paras at Morris, Kayla Allen and Stephanie Sayer.
For it. I believe any of the subcommittees have been meeting. No. Well, then that may be all the business we have until our July workshop.
Think so.
So we accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Thank you.